When facing a challenging kitchen island design with an excessive countertop overhang, particularly on a small island, several solutions can be considered. The goal is to balance functionality, aesthetics, and code compliance. Firstly, reducing the overhang on the short side of the island is a straightforward approach. Instead of an impractical 11-inch overhang on a 2-foot side, consider shortening it to a more reasonable 6 or 8 inches. This maintains a functional overhang for seating without being excessively deep or creating an obstruction. Secondly, adding a narrow countertop end to the short side of the island can create a separate, distinct seating area. This end piece can be made of a contrasting material or finish to add visual interest. This approach allows for ample seating space without the need for an excessive overhang along the entire side. Thirdly, incorporating recessed outlets into the island countertop offers a discreet and convenient power solution. Recessed outlets allow cords to be plugged in without interfering with the overhang space, providing power for appliances or charging devices while minimizing clutter. Fourthly, installing pop-up outlets provides a similar benefit. These outlets are designed to be concealed when not in use, sitting flush with the countertop. When needed, they can be raised to provide access to electrical power, eliminating the need for permanent and potentially unsightly cords. Fifthly, an under-counter cord concealing system can help maintain a clean and organized look. Systems like cord drops or cord corrals are designed to hide cords beneath the countertop, keeping them out of sight and preventing them from tangling or creating a mess. Sixthly, if the space allows, reconfiguring the island into a C shape can provide a seating area without the need for an overhang on all sides. This design creates an open side that naturally accommodates seating, resolving the issue of an awkward or excessive overhang. In addition to these specific solutions, several additional considerations are important. Firstly, choose a countertop material that is durable and capable of handling the potential stress of an overhang. Materials like quartz, granite, or solid surface are generally good choices due to their strength and resistance to wear and tear. Secondly, reinforce the island with additional supports to prevent sagging or bowing of the countertop, particularly with longer overhangs. Brackets, corbels, or other support structures can be installed beneath the countertop to provide added stability. Thirdly, consider the style and aesthetic impact of the overhang. The overhang should complement the overall design of the kitchen, both in terms of its shape and the material used. Consider how the overhang will affect the flow of traffic around the island. Ensure that it doesn't create a pinch point or make it difficult to move around the kitchen. Electrical outlets on kitchen islands are governed by specific requirements within the National Electrical Code. The NEC mandates at least one receptacle outlet at each peninsular countertop space with a long dimension of 24 inches or greater and a short dimension of 12 inches or greater. Islands require at least one receptacle, and if the island is 24 inches by 12 inches or greater, at least one receptacle. If the island is broken into multiple countertop surfaces by a sink cooktop or similar, each countertop must have a receptacle if it meets the dimensions above. These receptacles must be located no more than 12 inches below the countertop, no more than 6 inches horizontally from the edge of the countertop. Receptacles cannot be located in a face-up position in the countertop. This is to prevent liquids from entering the receptacle. These requirements are in place to ensure that electrical outlets are readily accessible for countertop appliances and to prevent the use of extension cords, which can be a safety hazard. Consider the placement of the outlets in relation to the overhang. Ensure that the outlets are positioned so that cords can be easily plugged in and unplugged without being obstructed by the overhang. Using an electrical permit for any electrical work is highly recommended or even mandatory. Consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the island meets all applicable electrical codes and standards. A licensed electrician can help determine the appropriate number and placement of outlets, as well as ensure that the wiring is properly installed. They can also provide guidance on other electrical considerations, such as circuit breaker sizing and grounding. Proper planning and careful execution are key to creating a functional and aesthetically pleasing kitchen island with a safe and code-compliant electrical system. Always prioritize safety and consult with qualified professionals when in doubt. The NEC Section 210.52 C2 covers island and peninsula countertops. A peninsula countertop is similar to an island but is attached to a wall or the structure on at least one side. The NEC requirements for peninsula countertops are generally the same as those for islands. The NEC specifies that the required receptacle outlets must be located no more than 20 inches above the countertop. This is to ensure that the outlets are readily accessible for countertop appliances. The NEC does not allow the use of multi-outlet assemblies, also known as power strips, as a substitute for the required receptacle outlets. This is because multi-outlet assemblies are not considered to be permanently installed and may not be able to handle the electrical load of countertop appliances. Ground fault circuit interrupter protection is typically required for receptacle outlets that serve countertop surfaces in kitchens. This is to protect against electrical shock. The GFCI protection can be provided by a GFCI circuit breaker or a GFCI receptacle. When planning the electrical layout for the kitchen island, consider the types of appliances that will be used on the countertop. For example, if a microwave or toaster oven will be used, a dedicated circuit may be required. Also consider the placement of the outlets in relation to the sink or cooktop. The NEC has specific requirements for the location of outlets near water sources. Proper grounding is essential for electrical safety. The island must be properly grounded to prevent electrical shock. This can be accomplished by connecting the island's metal frame to the building's grounding system. Labeling the electrical panel is important for future reference. Clearly label the circuit breakers that serve the kitchen island. This will make it easier to identify and troubleshoot electrical problems in the future. When installing electrical wiring, use the correct type and size of wire for the application. The wire must be rated for the voltage and amperage of the circuit. Use appropriate connectors and fittings to ensure a secure and reliable electrical connection. Do not use damaged or worn electrical cords or equipment. Replace any damaged or worn cords or equipment immediately. Be aware of the potential hazards of electricity and take precautions to prevent electrical shock. Turn off the power before working on any electrical equipment. The NEC is updated every 3 years, so it is important to stay up to date on the latest requirements. Consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that the kitchen island meets all applicable electrical codes and standards. Ignoring electrical codes can result in safety hazards, property damage, and legal penalties. It is important to follow all applicable codes and standards to ensure safe and compliant electrical installation. Ensure that all electrical work is performed by a qualified and licensed electrician. DIY electrical work can be dangerous and is often illegal. In addition to the NEC, local building codes may also have specific requirements for electrical installations. Check with the local building department to determine the applicable codes and standards. A kitchen island can be a valuable addition to any home, but it is important to plan the electrical system carefully to ensure safety and functionality. By following the tips and recommendations outlined above, you can create a kitchen island that is both beautiful and practical. Consider the impact of the overhang on accessibility for people with disabilities. Ensure that the overhang provides adequate knee and toe clearance for wheelchair users. The Americans with Disabilities Act provides guidelines for accessible design, including requirements for kitchen islands and countertops. Consult with an ADA specialist to ensure that the kitchen island meets all applicable accessibility requirements. Think about the lighting in the area around the island. Adequate lighting is essential for safety and functionality. Consider installing pendant lights or recessed lights above the island to provide ample illumination. The color and finish of the countertop can affect the overall look and feel of the kitchen. Choose a color and finish that complements the cabinets, flooring, and other design elements. The shape of the island can also impact its functionality and aesthetics. Consider the available space and the intended use of the island when choosing a shape. A rectangular island is a common choice, but other shapes such as square, round, or oval may also be appropriate. The size of the island should be proportionate to the size of the kitchen. An island that is too large can make the kitchen feel cramped, while an island that is too small may not provide enough workspace or storage. Consider the storage needs when designing the island. Cabinets, drawers, and shelves can be incorporated into the island to provide ample storage space for cookware, utensils, and other kitchen items. A kitchen island can be a focal point of the kitchen. Use it as an opportunity to showcase your personal style and creativity. Add decorative elements such as tile, stone, or wood accents to enhance the island's visual appeal. Regularly clean and maintain the countertop to keep it looking its best. Use appropriate cleaning products for the countertop material. Avoid using abrasive cleaners or scouring pads as they can damage the surface. Promptly clean up spills to prevent staining. Check the electrical outlets and wiring regularly for any signs of damage or wear. Replace any damaged or worn components immediately. Have the electrical system inspected periodically by a qualified electrician to ensure that it is in good working order. A well-designed and properly maintained kitchen island can provide years of enjoyment and functionality. Take the time to plan and execute the project carefully, and you will be rewarded with a beautiful and practical addition to your home. Consider using a countertop overhang calculator to determine the appropriate size and support requirements for the overhang. These calculators take into account the countertop material, thickness, and span to ensure that the overhang is adequately supported. When installing electrical outlets, use tamper-resistant receptacles to protect children from electrical shock. Tamper-resistant receptacles have internal shutters that prevent objects from being inserted into the slots. Consider installing a USB charging port in the island to provide a convenient way to charge electronic devices. USB charging ports are available as standalone outlets or as part of a combination outlet. When selecting a countertop material, consider its resistance to heat, scratches, and stains. Some materials are more durable than others and may be a better choice for a high-traffic kitchen. Consider adding a backsplash to the island to protect the wall from splashes and spills. A backsplash can also add a decorative element to the island. The height of the island should be comfortable for the people who will be using it. A standard countertop height is 36 inches, but a higher or lower height may be more appropriate for some users. The depth of the island should be sufficient to provide adequate workspace and storage. A typical island depth is 24 to 36 inches. The length of the island should be proportionate to the size of the kitchen. An island that is too long can make the kitchen feel cramped, while an island that is too short may not provide enough workspace or storage. Consider the traffic flow around the island. Ensure that there is enough space for people to move around the island without bumping into it. Consider the views from the island. If the island is located near a window, take advantage of the natural light and views. Consider the placement of the island in relation to the other appliances in the kitchen. The island should be located in a convenient location for preparing and serving food. Consider the overall style of the kitchen when designing the island. The island should complement the other design elements in the kitchen. A kitchen island can be a valuable asset to any home. By carefully planning and executing the project, you can create a kitchen island that is both beautiful and functional. Consider adding a breakfast bar to the island. A breakfast bar can provide a casual dining space for meals and snacks. Consider adding a wine rack to the island. A wine rack can provide a convenient storage space for wine bottles. Consider adding a spice rack to the island. A spice rack can provide a convenient storage space for spices. Consider adding a cookbook shelf to the island. A cookbook shelf can provide a convenient storage space for cookbooks. Consider adding a message center to the island. A message center can provide a central location for posting messages and reminders. Consider adding a charging station to the island. A charging station can provide a convenient place to charge electronic devices. Consider adding a recycling center to the island. A recycling center can provide a convenient place to sort and store recyclable materials. Consider adding a compost bin to the island. A compost bin can provide a convenient place to collect food scraps for composting.